Hi Virgo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your May 2020 full moon reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. Now the time frame of this reading will be from full moon to full moon, so that's from May 7th to June 5th. All right, so let's see what the moon has to say, see what the tarot has to say, and then I will be layering the Moonology and the Queen of the Moon cards onto the tarot at the end to really give a clear voice to Luna and how she will be interacting with what the cards have to say. The moon is set up all right here, which I will be going into in just a moment. So let's see here. How will Virgo be affected by the May 2020 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the May 2020 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the May 2020 full moon? Show me clearly. Ooh, goodness. Show me clearly. Show me clearly. All right. So we have at the center of everything the Eight of Cups. This is going to be you walking away from something, and that's at the heart of this moon. Then you have the Knight of Pentacles, which is you. You're prosperous, you're strong, you're a defender. Then we have the Seven of Cups, like that, the 8 and then the 7 here. We have the Guardian, which is the Hierophant, a Taurus energy, a time frame of April 20th to May 20th. The 10 of Wands. The Page of Wands. To move this down just a little bit. Fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Sagittarius is also the full moon in June, and Taurus is the full moon, is the new moon on the 22nd of May. And then we have the King of Wands. So there is something that here you're progressing in, but you're also going to be using the two sides of the coin, kind of the childlike side and the ruler side, the adult, the mature side of things to move you forward. You have the Knight of Wands, strong fire sign energy for you. So in June, the June full moon is going to be very impactful for you. You have here perspective, okay, the Hanged Man. You're seeing things differently than you may ever have before. And we have the King of Swords, which is an air sign energy, a Gemini, a Libra, and Aquarius. But you're putting down a mental burden or a burden that has held you back from really seeing things clearly and being able to know what it is that you want. And this really does make sense because during this time for yourself, Virgo, you're going to be feeling even more introspective, there we go, than you usually feel, because you're represented by the Hermit. Being introspective is not something that's new to you. However, the intensity of it, amplified by a supermoon, amplified by the Scorpio moon, and the emotions that are going on here, is going to make this rather intense. And this could lead you to feeling rather overwhelmed emotionally. So just be mindful of that. And if you can during this time, be kind to yourself. Make sure you're giving yourself time and giving yourself a break, because you're also going to see here that you become very hard on yourself. You're thinking, I should be able to move through this. You have a very kingly, knightly energy here. So it's just kind of like, I should be able to handle this better than I am. And this is going to be rather innocuous. It's going to be like the quote unquote, like magic in the room, something that can't be seen, but you feel like you should be able to harness better. And the fact of the matter is that once you step back from it and you really start looking at yourself emotionally, mentally, personally, physically, all those elements combined, you're really going to see yourself starting to move forward. If you like to journal, this would be a fantastic time to get your emotions down on paper. You can burn it afterwards. It doesn't have to mean that you keep things around for other people to see, or you lock it up and you keep it just for yourself. But there is a sense here of needing emotionally to regain your power. And by doing so, just to dig through and clear away everything that isn't relevant or things that have been cluttering your head and been causing you to doubt yourself, that are going to detract from the power that is around you. So you're definitely walking away from something that you once thought you would love, and you're actually going to see that you walk into a whole new world, a whole new being, a whole new sense of self. Now, here we have power and a surrendering to the divine. That's what the cards say that the full moon is. And that's what the full moon is. The full moon is about power. In the Queen of the Moon cards, the Moonology says that it's a surrendering to the divine. And it is a time also where, especially now, here, Virgo, you're really going to see this as a time where the last lunar cycle was, you're going to be very, it's not only about the, okay, just listening to Spirit, it's not only about the last lunar cycle. It's about things that have happened in the past where you're going to see yourself being very introspective, very contemplative about things. And you are in your wisdom for looking at things and wanting to do better as you move forward. You're going to be very hard on yourself for the past. And that's something that you are going to want to kind of veer away from here, because as you surrender to the divine, what you see is that everything that you have been through, everything that you have overcome, everything that you have, every time that you have fallen, you are going to see that it was needed. It was needed to get you where you are. I'm not talking about horrific things. I'm talking about things that, times where you went off your path. And you're going to see right now, because during this time, there is a channeling the sacred darkness as well as the sacred light. You are going to see a beauty to you, and you're going to see a beauty in the darkness. And you're going to be looking at yourself with a new sense of respect and of power. And during this time, even though emotions are running high, this is amplified by the supermoon, because what you're going to be attracting to yourself is the emotional energy that you are putting out. Why? We are emotional beings. All right? I really see things like, you can try to be super logical about everything. You can try to really map it all out. And I firmly believe that we are emotional beings. Meaning that if it has no emotional impact on your life, if you cannot live it, then what's the point of it? Okay? And here, and I'm not talking about any deep kind of existential, meanings or comprehensions or philosophical conversations. I'm saying about in your life, if you cannot live it, for you, Virgo, during this time especially, don't be worried about it. Look at things and say, how can I incorporate this into my being? How can I move forward in this truth? And then be open and honest with yourself, because you're going to attract what it is that you need and what it is that is calling to you, what your heart is calling for, and what is calling for you to evolve to during this time. And then with the supermoon, it says emotions are running high. Yes, they are. They are, most definitely. This is a time of astounding compassion. This is a time where you see the compassion that you want within the world, and you start turning towards wisdom. You start turning towards wisdom to have that compassion become a part of your life. And you're going to see that happen with each and every person. Some people are going to be really, really good at it, and some people are going to be absolutely terrible, but it's just the way things are. And then your light shines within you, and you're going to see the light that shines within the hidden recesses of your psyche, within what you truly want and what you truly desire. And that's why the emotional mumble jumble that you're going through, it's kind of like you're having this big stew come up, and it's like you're stirring the pot and everything's just floating to the surface or coming around. You need to really see what's there. And by doing so, it's going more slowly, it's going more steadily, but it's shedding a skin to be able to transform and to be able to embrace your growth. And as you do so, you are seeing opportunities for profound humane transformation, but also, profound personal transformation. And as you do so, you see yourself blossoming. And why that's important is because this is the flower full moon. So here you are blossoming into the person that you need to be. Here she's playing music, so you're going to see that emotional vibrations are very important. That's why you want to stay as positive as possible, or as it's not positive, okay? Because what I'm seeing here is that the sacred darkness has a profound place within your life. And it has the profound place within everybody's life. Jung called it the shadow self. In Native American, I forget which Native American culture, but it was the starving wolf. It was the wolf of anger and hatred. And so here, it's like, what do you need? What do you want? And you cannot starve either aspect of yourself, or else it will become a ravenous wolf that tries to take over. And that's what you're seeing. And you're also seeing the power of being a benevolent ruler in your own existence. You are the one person that you are ruling over because you're the one person that you have, let's say, complete control over, give or take. But this is your time to be the benevolent ruler or the tyrannical ruler. How do you want to be within your life? Somewhere in between is nice also, but there is this sense of striving towards your goal and your understanding and seeing yourself truly in, warts and all. And as you do so, you have the full moon in Scorpio saying it's time to release the negativity. It is. It's time to release the negativity that you are carrying with you. And you're going to find that to be very purging, very detoxing. You might find that you don't really feel as good when you're doing so, or you might find that you feel exuberant, like you're riding this high that's amazing as you release the negative energy that's been bogging you down. Either way of responding to this release, to the cutting of the cord of negativity, to the banishment, to the sense of greater truth and greater power, however you feel is going to be exactly the way you're supposed to feel. And so as you're moving forward, you are claiming and you're surrendering to this process of transformation because you feel things to the 9th degree. You're going to play things over and over and over again in your mind. And because there's a bit of a brooding tendency during this time, a sense to, really sit there and want to delve deeper, to be rather, it's not sensitive, it's secretive and suspicious, okay, which is very different than sensitive. You might feel like you're being sensitive to other people's words, but what you're really being is suspicious of their true motives. So because you have that emotional energy, which everybody has during this time, you can find that things become a little bit more intense, a little bit more heated, which is something that just be mindful of. It's something to be mindful of here, Virgo. On the 22nd of May is the new moon in Taurus. Now, this is very good for you because it's an earth sign. You're an earth sign. This is going to be very grounding, very kind of practical. And you're going to be looking at things during this time, and you're going to see that prosperity lies ahead. And as you're seeing that prosperity lies ahead, you're walking between the shadow self and the self of the light, the winter and the summer self. And you are looking at your sacred darkness, and you're looking at your sacred light, and you will be seeing the balance that you need between the both of them for your new beginnings and to start the new beginnings, to call the new beginnings into your life and to move forward. Now, during the full moon in Scorpio and the new moon in Taurus, there are a void, of course, during the full moon in Scorpio, which is at 10:39 p.m. The void, of course, is when you're trying to do something, it just goes pear-shaped. It just doesn't turn out the way that you want, and you can become very frustrated. So I would say be very mindful of even doing the smallest task around 10:39. So I would give yourself a whole hour. I'd be like, listen, for the whole hour of 10 o'clock, or you can do 10 o'clock to 11:30, just p.m. Don't do anything that you really care about, is what I'm really, really seeing here. It's kind of like, don't do anything that's going to cause an emotional investment, even if it's just folding away the laundry. All right? Don't do it. It's going to make you upset if things fall down, if drawers come out too far, things like that. That's the kind of stuff that's going to happen during this time. So if you could just kind of go to sleep, let it pass, that would be the best way to deal with it. But if you can't, sit on the couch, have a cup of tea, a glass of wine, whatever it is that you like, and watch a movie, read a book, and just let it pass quietly. On the 22nd of May, you are going to see that the void, of course, is at 4:01 a.m. All right? So I would say from 3:30 to 4:30, don't do anything. If you're asleep, that's perfect. If you're not asleep, then this is a time where just focus on the little things about getting ready, and don't be too much in your own head, because you're going to see that you start worrying about things and then things start going against the grain of what you want. During this time, if you are sleeping, you're going to see that you have dreams regarding things that are really, really bothersome to you, holding you back, things in your life where you're not moving forward the way that you would want to. And this is going to be a fantastic time to address those issues subconsciously and then to bring it forth in your conscious mind. On June 5th, this is when the full moon is in Sagittarius, and this says, look at the bigger picture. This is going to be a time where you are really drawn to the bigger picture of things. Passion, fire, it's also going to have a big impact on you because we have the Page of Wands, the King of Wands, and we have the Knight of Wands. So this is a moon from the 22nd of May to the full moon in June. This is going to be a very kind of more intense time for you. The Scorpio has its intensity, but it's going to be something that you can juggle more. That's not going to be in the forefront of your mind all the time. Now, this moon is called the strawberry moon. It's also called the honey or the mead moon. But here in these cards, it is called the hot moon, which warns against extremes. So even though this moon being the strawberry moon in the almanac, in Old English, Old English names, not English, Old European, there we go, names for it with the honeymoon and the mead moon, speaks of sweetness coming into our lives. With this being called the hot moon here in the card's representation, this is telling me that, again, you are going to be drawn towards emotional extremes. And that's going to be something that you really want to balance and really look at during this time, right? Not to be pulled one way or another and not to get too much in your own head, because you do have the King of Swords here and you don't have any other swords, which is really, really good to see. So it's kind of like, if you follow this line, if you embrace your passion and your power, you walk away from what is no longer serving you. You see, because this is the Taurus coming through again right here. So this is going to be very impactful with the Taurus energy of the Hierophant coming through. If you see yourself being able to stick to your traditions, your passions, your power, your understanding, then you cut through the doubts and fears and you become a king of your mind. And you see yourself moving forward in that passionate understanding and without the small nagging fears that can become crippling, or the small nagging words that can become crippling. The spirit animals for this time, your totem animals for May, are the beaver and the elk spirit. I don't have an elk, so for my cards, I'm using the antelope spirit because I think it's a good stand-in. Now, the beaver spirit talks about ingenuity, persistence, and achievement. You are going to be calling upon your ingenuity and your persistence to keep on achieving your goals. And this says lay a solid foundation. And that's going to be the most important thing for you during this time. Looking at your past and seeing where you have foundational cracks, okay? What you need to work on. Do not let this become an obsession because it easily can. And looking at your present and saying, what is the future that I want? And see yourself moving towards that goal and that understanding. This moves you towards the elk spirit, which represents, the elk totem represents strength, stamina, endurance, and patience in relationships. And as you embrace that element within yourself, those elements within yourself, you see that life is speeding up. You are speeding towards your goals. So this is a very positive thing. And you're going to feel very at home with the spirit animals of June, which are the deer spirit and the eagle spirit. The deer spirit represents gentleness. It says, bring a gentle touch. Now, this is gentleness without backing down. This is without being defeated or defenseless. There's also strength and bravery to you without a need to show it all the time. So there's going to be this very quiet, underlying sense of strength and fortitude of self, okay, during this time that others will see in you and most likely comment on, Virgo. And as you bring this forth within your life, there's a natural beauty that starts to shine, and you see innocence shining within you, which is going to play out. There's like this sense of evolution during the June moon that's going to be very strong within you, but that starts now, where you see things with childlike innocence, but also childlike curiosity. You feel what needs to be defended, and you know where you need to stand, and then you move forward in your passion and in your understanding to claim your throne. With the eagle spirit, now this is man's connection with the divine, because the eagle, which says here, spirit has your back, can fly higher than any other bird. Also, humans are apex site predators, right? And the only predator that we are second to when it comes to sight hunting is not the eagle, but birds of prey. So the eagle is like, can fly higher than every other bird, has the best eyesight. So it's just this kind of beast of strength and assurity and of stamina of self. And that's what you're going to be embracing during this time. It's kind of like this assured confidence that's going to be a part of you, that's going to call you towards freedom, and to have the courage to look ahead and not to look backwards. And as you do so, you're going to see that there's surprising importance on honesty and principles. Your principles are really going to be your cornerstone and your backbone. And as you have all of this come in, you're walking away from something where it's just kind of like, I can't live like this anymore. I won't live like this anymore, and I'm done. It can be something mentally, it can be something relationship-wise, it can be at work, wherever it is. You are looking at things. And I like that the red roses here kind of, frame the archway, because red roses equal passion and love. So what you're seeing here is this fierce passion and love for you being able to move forward. And it gives you this profoundly different perspective. And you might see people looking at you, Virgo, and being like, well, what the heck are you doing? You fought so hard for this, and now you're walking away from it. And the answer is yes. Yes, you are. Because you're seeing that your time is precious. And you have the eagle flying here. Again, you know that spirit is on your side. And you're seeing the preciousness of your existence, the preciousness of your time, the preciousness of this moon. And it's really impacting you in a very profound and very, very deep way. So with the hangman, you are seeing things differently than everybody else. You have a different perspective. Don't apologize for it. You're going to have the very strong urge to say, I'm sorry. To say, oh, I must be seeing this wrong, or oh, my ideas must be wrong. As long as you're not embracing fully and completely the tyrannical ruler, or even as long as you're not embracing the tyrannical ruler, you are going to find, and being that tyrannical person within yourself, you're going to find that your perspectives are good. Right? If you're feeling exhausted, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling as if there's no compassion left in your life for yourself, that is where you need to step back and you need to look at the perspective that you have. Because that's when you're going to need to look at things differently and to fly higher than the negativity that you're in. And I would really, really, really call upon your angels on that time. Because there's just this, I love the idea, and there's just this beauty to be able to have your angels on your side. To be able to have these powerful winged beings that can cocoon you in their love, saying, I have your back. Don't worry. And that's actually going to help you also to move forward. So if you can keep an angel journal or just really build that relationship with them, that's going to be really great. Then this moves you to the Knight of Pentacles and the Knight of Wands. Knight of Pentacles, this is you. This is also strongly linking you to the Taurus new moon. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is defending your prosperity, but also slowly and steadily moving forward in prosperity. It is the slowest moving of the knights. But the way I see it, it's kind of like slow and steady wins the race. It's the most methodically thought out of all the knights. And you're going to see here that you're blessed with transformation at your crown, opening your third eye, moving you forward. And you're blessed with the sense, I just see this Luna moth right here. So it's like you're stunning. And you're going to see that stunningness transforming you. You're also going to be very called to the practical side of things during this time. It's going to be occupying your mind. Am I moving forward the right way? Am I, making the right decisions? Am I planting the right seeds? Am I defending what needs to be defended? Am I, looking at things completely wrong? There's just a sense of an insecurity of your own judgment at this time that you need to be mindful of, Virgo, because it can have the tendency to underline all the beauty that is coming your way. Now, the Knight of Wands is a fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay, strong link to, again, the full moon in June is fire-based. And so you're going to see that your passions really start to roar as you get closer to June. But you are moving towards, again, your passion, what you desire, why you are here. And you might be asking yourself that a lot. Why am I here? What am I doing? What do I want? And as you're looking at where you are and what you want to be, you're going to see that instinctively you're being drawn a very certain way. And if you ignore that, you're going to feel as if you're not living the life that you should be living. You're going to feel as if you're not defending what you should be defending. And as you're moving forward, the thing that's going to kind of be very easily able to trip you up is the Ten of Wands. is the fact that you have an unbearable weight upon your shoulders at times. And it's going to come when you're trying to be quiet, when you're trying to transform, when you're trying to, look at the bigger picture and say, this is where I need to be. And so here, with the 10 of Wands, you need to look at what you're carrying that you should no longer be carrying. Because this is an end of a cycle when it comes to your passion, when it comes to your creativity, when it comes to the way that you look at things. It's kind of like, I can't do this anymore because it's brought me to my knees. And it doesn't mean you change up everything. It means that right here, the transformation that you're going through pulls the tie and sets you free. Transformation sets you free from the weight that has been burying you. And as you're set free, you become empowered. You become invigorated. You stand tall. You take up space. You don't apologize for your existence. Not that you were before, but the 10 of Wands makes it hard not to, because it makes us feel as if we have to. It makes us feel as if everybody's burdens are supposed to be our own. And Virgo, you're an instinctual caregiver. You love to help the person in need. And so you take on the burdens and you take on the burdens until they become so much, or until you take on a burden that can never be fulfilled. And then that becomes a cross that it's way too heavy to bear. That becomes a burden that becomes what consumes your whole entire life. And during the Scorpio moon, when you are embracing such compassion, when it's just flowing through your veins, and you're seeing the dark and the light of life, and you're seeing that you need the day and the night, or else things become kind of unbearable, you see that you're moving towards greatness and greater mysteries. And that has you cutting through the doubts and the fears. That has you being strong and stable and secure and saying, this is what I want and this is what I need. And as I do so, I stand within my power and in my truth. This is an air sign energy, a Gemini, a Libra, and Aquarius. An air sign energy can be bringing you down, okay? But you can also be looking at things in a way that is either too real, like you have to step back a bit and kind of give your mind a break and say, okay, yes, all valid points, but everything in its time. Or there is this sense of feeling defeated because it cannot be conquered. The feelings of being overwhelmed, the feelings of not moving forward the way that you want to. And here with the King of Swords, it's saying you have the power. You do. You have the power to be the king of your mind. And why is it important to be the king of your mind? Because that means you're also the king of your heart. And I am of the firm belief that we are all emotional beings. And as emotional beings, we have to listen to our hearts. Yes, that can mean that things get odd at times. Yes, it can mean that, sometimes our hearts don't know what the heck they're talking about, and we have to know the difference between what we love and what we lust for in life in general, in partners, in everything like that, where ego takes over. But if you listen to your heart and say, but what makes me happy? How do I feel when I'm doing this? What do I feel when I'm doing this? You're engaging your mind to analyze your emotions. And as you start analyzing your emotions, and you start analyzing the way that they impact your thoughts, yourself, you start to see, oh, I understand. Oh, I need things this way. Oh, I need to twist that. Oh, I need to, kind of let up of myself here, because that's going to make me feel like more and more of a success. And as you do so, you embrace that kingliness. You embrace that power. And it leads you to the Page of Wands. Now, it's very, very interesting because you have the page connected here to a lot of greatness and to the ability to walk away. It's kind of like when you're with a child and that child's done and you could be in the middle of something. And they're like, I gotta go, and they're still really little. They don't really know that that's rude quite yet. And they just get up and they walk away. Or they're done with this and they throw it on the floor. And that's what you're going to see. That's going to be your reaction with things that are not right for you. It's like, I'm done, I want to walk away. It's not because you're scared. And make sure that you kind of look at that emotion. Because some people are going to be like, oh, well, what are you afraid? What do you think you're going to fail? So you're just going to run and hide? And first of all, rude. Second of all, you live your life, dude. I'll live mine. And that's what you really have to tell these people. Because what you're seeing here is you're seeing yourself becoming a student of your passion, your intuition, and also your integrity. All right? You're looking at your fire, the core of the earth, the sun, what warms you, what drives you, what keeps you moving forward. And that's important. That's important. You're not a machine. You're not an automaton. You cannot just do something and have no feelings and no connections to it. And so here, you're embracing a childlike wonder. You're embracing a love and passion for what you desire, but you're also seeing the passion of the traditional you. And that's what the Hierophant is. It's the King of Kings, yes, because in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, the Hierophant is represented as the Pope, and the Pope could tell kings what to do. So here in your line, right, you have starting with the king, ending with the king, and you have the King of Kings right in there. So as you walk away, you're embracing a power and integrity and a force that is astounding. As you do so, you're going to see things that you thought couldn't be resolved starting to become resolved much more easily than you had anticipated. You're going to see yourself starting to move forward. You're going to see yourself starting to be set free, which is very, very important for you. 5 is a freedom number, and 5 is also a number of things reaching a conclusion, of things not being as bad or as time-consuming or as overwhelming as we think they are, right? 8 is an eternity number, right? But it's also a very serious number. Okay, 8 is a very serious life path. So here it can be that at your heart you need to walk away from taking things too seriously, and you need to start embracing joy and bounty and beauty within your life. And as you do so, you see here the Queen and the child. Okay, you have the adult, but you have the child right down there resting within her. And that's what you're going to see in yourself, that calling upon that inner child to move you forward, to guide you towards what is more. It changes your perspective in the very best possible way. And it has you cutting through doubts and fears, claiming your throne and saying, I know what it is that I know. And as you do so, your passion rises. Your instincts, your intuition, there's a sense of, you might find that people say there's a haughtiness to you. There isn't. There isn't. You are concerned with things 5 steps ahead of everybody else. You're not living for the future. You are living for the now, but you are seeing things in such a way that it's almost like you know a person's move before they're about to do it. So really trust that instinctual understanding that is guiding you forward, right? You are claiming your crown, and what I love, oh, of course, drop the card. What I love here is that you're putting the crown on your own head. And as you put the crown on your own head, as you seat yourself, you see the difference between your wishes and what you are really working towards. And you'll call yourself out. It's not something that's nice. The 7 of Cups isn't always, what we want to see, but it's definitely what we need to see. Because the 7 of Cups is saying visualize, visualize, visualize. See what it is that you want. Call on that strength within yourself and go for it. You might have to visualize for quite some time because you can be working through blockages and fears and apprehensions and being overwhelmed. But as you visualize, you move forward. Daydreaming is saying, oh, I wish, I hope, and doing nothing for it. And then going off and doing what you always do anyway, which isn't getting you to where you want to be. So here with the 7 of Cups, it's kind of like, this is what I want, this is what I stand for, and this is what I'm going after. It's powerful. It's powerful. It really is. It really is, because we as human beings are powerful if we focus ourselves. And even if we don't focus ourselves and we just live in chaos, that's still powerful. I mean, it's not the kind of power that we want to embody, but it's still powerful. Very much connected with those who have passed during this time, also with, past lives, with your ancestors. Very strong connection with that. So just be mindful of that. You might have very strong reactions to things that are happening, and you might be like, I don't know why this is, but it's because of past lives and ancestral DNA memory coming forward. The Knight of Wands, passion, dedication, driving, going, seeing, and changing your perspective. Because you change your world, you change your whole entire life. And you're changing the way you see things, you're changing the narrative of your story, and you are becoming so much more than you ever thought. Let's see what your Queen of the Moon cards have to say. How will Virgo be affected by the May 2020 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the May 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. How will Virgo be affected by the May 2020 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the May 2020 full moon? How will Virgo be affected by the May 2020 full moon? Show me clearly, show me clearly, show me clearly. Okay. Yeah, so you have here Leo and Aries shining forward. So you have very, very strong fire sign energy shining forward in this reading. So you have Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. There's tremendous passion to you. At your heart, peace. You need to walk towards your peace, your joy, your understanding. It doesn't need to be anybody else's peace. It needs to be yours. And as you do so, as you end, you kind of like close off one door, you close one door, you see yourself walking on a path that you will be like, this is what I've needed to do. This is where I need to walk. And as you do so, we have adjustments are required. You're changing your perspective. You're looking at things differently. Of course, adjustments will be required, and you're going to make them. I mean, you cannot. That's totally cool. But making these adjustments, looking at things differently, looking at what you desire will lead you forward. And it will be if you do the work, okay? And it's always if you do the work, it can be something beautiful. Even if it's just a moment of beauty, you know what? Life is made up of moments. And if we can snatch moments of beauty here and there, it becomes astoundingly powerful. Resilient. Resilience here. You, in your night, as your night self, as your defender self, you are more resilient than you ever thought. And as you move forward in this resilience, you're going to find a place to put down your royal tree, to put down the roots of what you want to create within your life. And as you do so, you have the full moon eclipse, which says conclusions are within reach as you move towards your passion, as you move towards your desire. You are embodied and endowed with change. As you push away the old, as you transform and you release what is no longer relevant to your life, change comes in. And that change brings love to the situation. As you cut through doubts and fears, as you know your mind, and as you don't let it run amok. It's kind of like, okay, listen, I'm an introspective, contemplative, person. Deeply spiritual is what I'm also seeing here. And I look at things more deeply than others. Great. That is fantastic. Do not let it be that seeking answers takes away from life's enjoyment, because that's going to be something important. Then you have beauty. And I love this. I know you guys have probably seen this forever when I hold this up, but I just saw it today. This is a woman's face. Nose, mouth. I always said this looks like a mouth, but eyes, eyebrow. I'm like, oh my gosh, I was slow in the uptake, wasn't I? It's beauty. Embrace beauty. And embrace seeing that beauty and embracing that beautiful self. Every moment. And embrace the innocence that is you, that calls on your passion and embraces your soul. Because as you do so, confidence is your key to success. The confidence within yourself to guard and become and guide what you need, what you want, and who you are. And as that confidence is key, adjustments are required, because you're going to say, oh, I'm not confident here. Oh, I need to look at that differently. Oh, you're going to call yourself out on certain things. And then you bring love into the situation. Adjustments are required also when you bring love into the situation and say love and passion and joy are pivotal points and parts of my life. And as you do so, you embrace acceptance for claiming your throne, for your passion, for your desires, for your transformation, also your intuitive self. And that leads you to knowing it's time to take action and not daydream. Daydream is beautiful, but now it's time for action. And as you take this action, conclusions are within reach, as the adjustments are required. But so its conclusion is within reach. and adjustments are required to reach those conclusions. And you're going to see what that is and why that is. Your subconscious message for this time, goodness, okay, is the full moon in Pisces. Balance spirituality with practicality. That's going to be so key for you. You can be absolutely caught up in one or the other. You need to find the balance of both. Harmony in your life is going to be paramount. This then moves you to the subconscious message of the void. Sometimes just embracing nothing is going to bring you really close to something spectacular. And then your subconscious message for this whole entire reading is the Two of Pentacles. Again, I see this as bringing us back to the need for balancing the spiritual and the practical. The need to balance what you desire, what you want, and to really start to embrace the greater mysteries of your life, the sweetness that you are walking towards, and where it is that you want to be, what it is that you are. And that's really quite beautiful. All right, Virgo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. It was a pleasure to bring this to you. It was so much more intense than I thought it was going to be. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. Stay safe. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all. Enjoy this time of the moon. Really, enjoy your moon.